So, is it going to be Armagnac or Armagnac? Hello and welcome to Intoxicated Masculinity. If it's Wednesday, it's another cocktail video. So it's holiday time right now, and so I'm kind of doing a little more loosey-goosey kind of episodes. So we are going to go back to the Sidecar. We already talked about the Sidecar. We drank some Sidecars. We did a Redux Sidecar. But as somebody who doesn't know that much about Cognac, I've decided that we're going to do 2 more Sidecars. We probably won't do Sidecars for a while. And what I've done is I picked up a couple of XOs. So this is Delacourt, Delacourtet. I do not pronounce French words well. This is an XO Cognac, and this is Chateau Labad, and this is an XO Armagnac. So the difference between Cognacs and Armagnacs, there's actually a fair amount. I've sort of been educating myself on this quite a bit. So first of all, Cognac is sort of in the western central region of, western central region of Spain along the Bay of Biscay, whereas the Armagnac region is further south. It's sort of closer down towards Spain. As far as production methods, Armagnacs are typically made on a column still. If you don't know what a column still is, it's basically just a big column. It'll have a bunch of plates in it, and it's used typically in more industrial, for more industrial purposes. You get a lot more spirit coming out of it. It's a more efficient process. Whereas Cognac is going to typically be twice distilled off of a pot still. A pot still is sort of a more traditional type of distillation. There are a lot of people, I think, that believe that the pot still is better. I've had a lot of really great column still distilled spirits, and I have a lot of really great pot still distilled spirits. So I really can't say that one is necessarily better than the other, but both certainly have their supporters. So we're going to start off, we're going to pour ourselves a little bit of our Courvoisier VSOP, which we kind of decided was one of the better cognacs we had in our previous, although it definitely has that oaky flavor. So if you kind of want something that's a little more of a pure spirit, then you might not like that. So now we're going to do our Delacourtet. So this is our first XO spirit. And then our Chateau Labad. If you think I'm pronouncing these names wrong, you're probably right. Alright, so we're going to start off with our Courvoisier, just VSOP, very special old pale. And like I said, you get a lot of I think a really interesting balance between your oaks and your fruit. You know, if you have your, I don't have my VS Courvoisier here, it's very light, very fruity. The VSOP, you get a lot of oak coming in there. Not a lot, a fair amount of oak coming in there, and kind of giving you the more mature flavor. Yeah, it's again the same thing. You get a lot of fruits, a lot of vanillas and tannins from the wood. Now, when it comes to whiskeys, I am somebody who definitely prefers older whiskeys. I think with brandies, this is going to be interesting because, well, I do like the VSOP. I do feel like the oak can sometimes feel like it's intruding on those sort of bright, natural fruit flavors that you get out of a cognac or another type of brandy. But yeah, I get like maybe pear, vanilla-y pear kind of a flavor. Very tasty. Good cocktails. Now this is going to be, I think it's going to be aged at least 4 years. Yeah, so this is going to be at least 4 years. Now, some of the reading I've done has said that a lot of the Cognac and Armagnac distillers are actually distilling more than, and sometimes significantly more than, what the label says. So it's definitely something to take into account. So this is at least 4 years old. It could be 6, it could be 7 years. We don't really know. All right, so now we're doing our Delacourtet XO Cognac. To get the XO, it's extra old, so it has to be aged at least 10 years. So this should be a fair amount older and have a fair amount more maturity than our VSOPs. The one thing you got to look out for when you're looking at your XO cognacs, when you go from a VSOP to an XO, you are taking a pretty significant difference in price. I don't know the exact difference because I didn't get the VSO, or I didn't get the XO Courvoisier. I think it was 150 bucks, maybe 200 bucks. I can't remember exactly. Not getting a ton on the nose actually. There's a little bit of oak there. Maybe more cherry. It's the nose is fairly muted though. Not a strong nose at all. Wow, it's a very, very muted palate. To be honest, if I did not know that this was older than the Cognac, than the Courvoisier VSOP, I probably wouldn't have called it. There is a finish there, an oak finish, that I think lasts a little bit longer than the Courvoisier VSOP. But overall, it's very muted. It's not a strong palate. Yeah, I'm getting cherry. I mean, grape sounds like a silly thing to say because obviously you get grape on it, but you do get the grape. And then there's the finish is all oak. Yeah, I'm kind of surprised. Not a real strong palate on that one at all. It does have a long finish. So I think that I could definitely say that between our Courvoisier VSOP and our Delacorte, or Delacorte, however the hell it's pronounced. The Delacorte does have a longer finish, and that's mainly oak with just a little bit of fruit kind of along the edges. But I think on initial palate, I would definitely have the Courvoisier VSOP. Now, let's try the Chateau Labaud and see what we think of that one. Again, also an XO. So here we're trying a Cognac XO versus an Armagnac XO. Not a real strong palate, although it's got a brighter nose. I'm thinking almost like maybe honey-ish. Still not strong. I think it's got a stronger nose than the Delacorte, but not significantly stronger. And yeah, honey, maybe. I'm having a hard time placing it. Let's go ahead and taste, see what we think. Also relatively muted. I'm kind of surprised. I think the palate is definitely, in my mind, I like it more than the Delacorte. It's brighter, it's sunnier. It's kind of, again, I do get a little bit of honey. There's a little bit of cherry too. It's just got a sunnier flavor. There's more to the palate. I think the finish might be a little bit less. I think the Delacorte probably has the finish as far as length of finish. The VSOP is definitely on the low end just because of the age. Yeah, this is interesting. It's sweet. It's almost got a little bit of rum flavor to it. That kind of like a sugarcane kind of sweetness to it. Not overly sweet and not artificially sweet. It doesn't have that. One thing you'll notice if you try rums that have been artificially sweetened, you have a very kind of thick feel in your mouth afterwards, and it's not the spirit, it's the sugar. I'm not getting that with this. So it feels like a fairly naturally sugary, sweetened flavor. But yeah, sweeter, sunnier, kind of interesting. Not really what I pictured. Usually when you picture well-aged spirits, you sort of get those dark tannins, you know, your caramels, your vanillas, things like that. I'm not getting actually much in the way of vanilla at all. And instead I'm getting that kind of sunny, honey, almost maybe rummy kind of a flavor. I'm going to go back through them just one more time, just kind of get one more taste. And then we're going to turn both of these into a sidecar and see which one I like better. Yeah, the Courvoisier VSOP, I think probably on initial palate, I have to say I think kind of wins this competition. There's more going on. It's more complex, and it makes me wonder. And one of these days we will go ahead and do a Courvoisier VSOP versus the XO to see if maybe it's just that brand. Because again, we're not doing brand for brand here, but the flavor there's more going on. Let's try the Della Quartet again and see what we think. Yeah, again, the pear is there. It's not bad. I don't think this is a bad brandy or bad cognac at all. But just, given the price that you're going to end up paying for an XO cognac, I can't say that I would recommend paying the XO, at least for this particular one. Again, we'll try doing Courvoisier XO one of these days as well. But I think if you're trying to decide between these two, I'd definitely go with the Courvoisier. And one last time on the Chateau Lobad. Lobad. You know what I mean. Please rake me over the coals of pronunciation. I deserve it. Yeah, it's good. It's sunny. It's again. I don't think any. You buy any of these brandies, I think you're probably going to be happy. But I do feel like the Courvoisier just has more punch to it. It's more complex flavors. You're getting sort of more fruits. The oak is in there more, which seems odd for something that should be actually younger than these two. Again, the Della Quartet, I think that the finish does stick around a little bit longer, but it doesn't do a lot for me, unfortunately. Anyway, on that bombshell, let's go ahead and make us a couple of sidecars with our XOs and see how it transfers. All right, we already know the drinks. Let's get in the glass. So we're going to start off. We're going to use a traditional recipe, so we're going to go for 3/4 of an ounce of lemon. We are going to go 3/4 of an ounce of our orange liqueur. Here is going to be Salerno, which is what we've been using lately. Once again, you can use triple sec. You can use Cointreau. Cointreau is sort of typically what I've gone for in the past. Alright, and then we're going to use 2 ounces of our cognac. We're going to use 2 ounces of our Armagnac. Alright. Go. Our icy shakers already prepared. Good. Now you don't need to really give these that hard of a pounding. Again, the icing side is gonna hold these shakers together real well. Just give it a kind of a slow start, but you'll be good to go. Open up our shakers. And those smell pretty good. Get our cocktail glasses. And we will start off with our cognac. Now you notice some of the videos lately I've not been super on the stick with garnishing. I'm going to be honest, for a lot of home bartenders and even bartenders, when you're at home, you're probably not going to garnish all that much. It's not that garnishing isn't good. It is good, and I think it adds to the drink. But if you're just making a cocktail for yourself, in this case, we're just testing out 2 recipes, well, the same recipe with different spirits, and we just kind of want to get that flavor. So, yes, I did not put an orange slice in here. When you are home, you are more than welcome to put as many or as few orange slices in there as you prefer. This is kind of interesting. We have a distinct difference in color here. Our Cognac has definitely come off, I mean, not massively darker, but a clear shade darker than our Armagnac. So let's go and start with that one. See what we think. It's good. It's very good. Again, with that oakiness, the Delacorte does get lost a little bit. It's still a very, very enjoyable cocktail. I don't dislike it at all. But your lemon juice and your orange liqueur are very much front and center in this cocktail. And the Cognac is sort of falling back, which is sort of strange in a cocktail like this where the spirit is the vast majority of the cocktail. You know, the spirit's more than half the cocktail. So it's similar. It is a similar story. The Armagnac in this case is holding up much better. It is still not as front and center as I would like it to be in a cocktail like this. Anytime you're having a cocktail, whether it's a margarita or a daiquiri or anything like that, where it's primarily spirit with 2 ingredients like a sweetener and a sour to sort of to alter that a little bit, you want your spirit to be front and center. Neither one of these is the spirit what I would call front and center. It's not getting lost over here though. You're still getting your brandy. The brandy's coming through there. Excuse me, Armagnac. It's also brandy. It's coming through there. Here, though, it's really not coming through like I would like. I think in our original video, I kind of talked about how, extra age doesn't necessarily mean better for a cocktail. I almost think that in this cocktail, just going with your standard VS Cognac might be the way to go. It kind of holds on to some of the lighter floral, sunnier notes, and I think maybe it stands up better in a sidecar. So I think on that shocking note that I think maybe the least aged spirit is maybe the best one to use in this cocktail. So, but again, if you like that oak, you can definitely try this out. I'm not picking up a lot of the oak on either one of these, a little bit more with Armagnac, but yeah, you try these out. Tell me what you think. Tell me if you think there's an exo Cognac that I should try that would stand up better than these. More than willing to try that out. I just want to thank everybody watching. Please like and subscribe and have a good drink. Have a good day. So, is it going to be Armagnac or Armagnac?